Well, is anybody around? Is anybody here? It's Robbie, W1RCP, and I'm just chilling live at the kitchen table. It's 9:30 p.m. on the East Coast here in Georgia. I'm at the kitchen table working on projects. That's pretty much all I got going on. So I'm just waiting a minute to see who shows up and chatting along the way. If anybody wants to join in with the chat and say, hey, what's going on? Hit me up in the chat. I'll try to keep an eye on that as time goes on. And so we will transition to the wonderful kitchen table. Hey, so here we go. And here's what I'm working on. At least one of the projects that you'll be able to see. I'll probably wind up knocking myself off the stream in just a minute when I actually go to the solar panel, which I'm going to work on in just a minute. And that's pretty much what we got going on. So I'm just chilling. I want to apologize ahead of time. We ran into some issues yesterday with our giveaway. This will not be a giveaway stream. It's just me sitting here with two cameras. And I am trying out Eddie Steffen's new microphone, so I hope that that's working out all right. I did a video just a few minutes ago that'll come out next Friday. And honestly, I've already forgotten. Oh, the Red Audio battery review is coming out next Friday at 7 a.m. From this stream. And on that video, what we're going to do is give a quick review of the 100 amp hour Red Audio battery. The other thing that I'd like to point out is that you can join the channel as a YouTube member. So I'm going to type that in real quick before we get going. I'm just going to see who else wants to come in and join. So if you guys will just put in the chat, hey, I'm here. And if you got a call sign for ham radio, you can put that call sign in there as well. But if you go to youtube.com, because if you're watching mobile, you can't really see some of the stuff that you can see if you're on the computer. But if you go to my channel, W1RCP/join, there are multiple levels of membership to the channel. And you can also send super chats as well, which helps support the channel and give me something to look forward to purchasing other stuff, because everything goes back into ham radio anyways. And that is what this channel is about. So currently, I am just sitting here. I have some coax, and you're going to get to watch me, and I hope it's not too boring, but I'll talk. If you chat, I'll chat along with you and answer any questions you might have about what I'm doing, or not doing, for that matter. But the first project that I'm going to work on is probably going to be an epic failure. So this is my DX Engineering crimpers, and the first thing that I need to do is I need to swap the tip out on them. The tip that I have on here is the one that is actually for the connectors that go with this particular coax. This is a RG316. In the description, I guess I need to go ahead and say this. In the description, I have some Amazon links to just about everything you need for this project. And I say just about, it's probably missing a few things like the right connectors. But I do have a video where I am making this particular cable. It's already out there on YouTube. It really surprisingly hasn't gotten that many views. Could be the algorithm. It could be the fact that, you know, there's a science to doing things on YouTube, an absolute science. And I have not quite figured it out that works for me. Now, there was one video that I posted not too long ago, and in that video, I was talking about Morse code, CW, and what happened was I made the picture before I started the video and wasn't really thinking about it, and so Hey, KO4 Gar David. I am making some coax tonight. I am, this coax, I'm going to put some ferrite beads on it. You could probably see them sitting right here. And so this is going to be for, all right, this is going to be for Parks on the Air. And hey, Sean, yeah, good luck with the crimping. It's definitely going to be interesting if I can make this work. No sending Morse code without a key tonight. Absolutely no Morse code without a key. There was a short, Sean, that I put on the other day. There was somebody that I wanted in my log, and I think it was KQ4Q Liddy, and I noticed that she had been doing some Parks on the Air, and so I got a spot on Ham Alert. And then I ran into the ham shack, and lo and behold, there's just a bare wire hanging out. So I've done it again. But yeah, I'm making some coax tonight. This is for Parks on the Air. This is not for home use. I'm using the DX Engineering crimpers, which are really nice crimpers because you can change what you're crimping. But that's just the first thing I'm working on. My wife has tasked me into cleaning the kitchen. And over here in the corner is a table that she swears up and down. She only put this table over here because of a project I was working on, and she didn't want it on the counter. Holy cow. Dude, you know, David, at one point in time, I was going to do some satellite stuff, and I did a little bit of it, but then I was like, good God, it's hot out here. Mosquitoes tearing you apart, and then, you know, then the daytime passes are so doggone busy. But that's awesome that you got a Parks on the Air on SO50. Who was the operator out there, David? In the meantime, while we're waiting on David to say what he's got to say about that SO50 satellite contact, I think that's the one that I used to. Whiskey to Golf Delta Juliet. Did you? Was it an accident, or did W2GDJ have it spotted on the Parks on the Air page? And for those of you that don't know what POTA is, that's POTA.app. And you can go see who's out there, who is actively spotted. That doesn't always really. Holy cow. So David said he wasn't spotted at all. That is crazy. Oh, well okay, so he says he doesn't have an account on Parks on the Air, so that could be an issue. But that's still awesome. So what David's going to do is watch his hunter log on the Parks on the Air website, POTA.app. He'll log into his account, and he'll look and see if that contact shows up. So I'll explain what I'm doing right now. These connectors I got from DX Engineering, and I could probably, I probably have the tools that you can sit. You can put the coax into it and spin it. Hey, thanks, David. Yeah, Eddie and I are gonna do a 1,000 sub stream. We were supposed to do it last night, and something went haywire with us. We, partially forgot, but partially the time frame didn't quite work out for us. But we're going to do it the Friday after Huntsville. It will be a complete circus because our wives will be here talking at top volume. Kids will be running around, but we're going to do it, and we're going to talk about our first Parks on the Air. So we pushed it out. That is scheduled for, let's see, yesterday was the 9th, the 16th. I think it's Friday the 23rd. Dan, I'll get to that in just a minute. What I'm about to do, my ADD tends to kick in, and I've noticed after I watch my own videos that I rarely finish a complete thought. So I started with this thought. I don't have the data sheet. I do have the tools from DX Engineering where you can put the coax in and it has razor blades in it that will strip it to exactly where you need it. But for RG316, I don't have anything for that. So what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to mention Dan's comment here. You guys probably already read it, but for future reference, the lengths that I need to cut this coax is what we're about to do. So what I'm going to do is set the coax right here. So at this point right here, and I'm eyeballing this to a degree, is I'm drawing a line where I have to solder the tip on. This is not for RG316. I tell you what, I have one issue, Explorer 1. The heart is right in the way of your entire question. It says, thoughts on the indoor and I'm going to assume that says slinky antenna, but it's covered up. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. Slinky. You know what? I do not have any thoughts, but viewers, Dan, David, what do you guys, have you guys, Sean, if you're still here, I don't know if you're still here, have you guys used an indoor slinky antenna? Explorer 1, if you throw me your name, I'll call you by name instead of your YouTube handle there. In the meantime, that's true. You'll never know till you try it, but it depends indoor where you put it. But let me finish measuring this out. I do know that from this point to about this point right here, this needs to be the bare center copper. So I'm going to write bare copper. This is probably illegible for you. I tell you, I have seen people use the slinky antenna outdoor on like a jack kite pole, and I've worked someone all the way in Oregon with it. So, and I'm in Georgia. So slinky antennas do work. I think if you can have some sort of balun or balanced antenna, unun or balun, that it might make it work a little bit better with a tuner. But I have found that if I have antennas sitting in the living room, they don't always do that great. If you can get it in the attic, you might have better results. What bands do you want to try that bad boy slinky out on is the question. Now, I'm going to go back to Dan's comment in just a minute. That's front end overload. He's got a YouTube channel of his own too. So check out WD4DAN. And if you are a POTA activator, you already know Dan. Dan is a power hunter. I used to be a power hunter, but then I found out that there's so much other stuff that I like to do. 20 meters, I think that it would work well. Are you running QRP or QRO, Explorer 1? Because QRP might be a little more tricky. I've talked to people with attic antenna. Oh yeah, you shouldn't have an issue. And I tell you, it'll work with digital modes. If you're into digital modes, it will work. So let's see. Oh my gosh, yes. Apartment operations. Do you have a window you can throw open and sling the slinky out of the window and use it like a vertical? Maybe put a small weight on the end of it and have it going doing, doing, doing. Man, I feel for you. 10th floor apartment. You probably have S9 noise out the wazoo too. Depending on what people are running. But I think that you would probably be okay. You know, you never know until you try it. Okay, so what I'm drawing now is this is where I need to strip to the center insulation. And I'm totally not spelling this right. Center insulation, and this part right here needs to be the shield. And this is where, if you're just tuning in, I'm just sitting here at the kitchen table. I am working on some projects and talking at max volume. I'm trying out Eddie's microphone that he let me use. It's a AOKEO AK-60, which I swear AK-60 is a ripoff of, I can't remember the name of that particular microphone, but it starts with AK and it's not 47. A window in the back of the building, which is my kitchen. Nobody saw my dipole for 10 meters that I ran during the winter time from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. No report. All right, well, you know, if you can get away with that, that is freaking awesome right there. All good. Apartments and HOAs, my problem is I can do whatever I want where I live, but somebody around here has some noisy electronics. I hear a 60 and 120 hertz grinding buzz, which is reminiscent to power line noise. And during Hurricane Debbie, which was a tropical storm when she passed through last week, I lost power for 10 minutes. So I didn't have time to get to the rig and actually see, because I have a battery that I could have run it off. I didn't have a chance to go see if that noise went away. One day I'm going to start flipping breakers around here. But I have to make sure that the kids aren't around. If the kids are around, then that is not something I can do. They'll freak out if they do not have access to the internet. Now, finally, WD4, DAN, W1RCP, Wolf. Dan has thanked me to the 10,000. I think that was either 10,000 or 100,000. I'm not quite sure. It was either 10 to the 5 or 10 to the 6th power for my extra videos that I uploaded. I spent the summer, the beginning of the summer, I went and read every dang question on the extra license. And then I went and found resources, and I learned it myself. And I actually have a video out there of me taking, in that playlist, I have the whole playlist, but in that playlist, I took a practice test after I did the 50 videos. So if you really want to pass the test, Dan, in the next 4 days before you head to Huntsville, I have better cutters for this, and I don't know what I did with them. That's probably why my wife wants me to clean up. Record your 50 videos, bud. There's 50 sections to the extra test. If you manage to work good DX from Asia and Africa and Europe on a faulty dipole out of a window, that is absolutely fantastic. You're on 7H, Dan, of the extra exam. Dude, you're not out of the weeds yet. From 7 to 9 is freaking horrible. That was the hardest stuff on the latest extra exam, which if anybody hasn't taken the extra exam in a while, or you've never looked at it, it just dropped from the NCVEC. The new test just dropped on July 1st. So it's a whole new pool now. The general, I think, is still good for about 2 years, and the technician, I believe, is good for the next 3 years. I think they stagger when they're going to release their videos. Dan, did you run across the one where Alf was circulating Earth? Toby! And Toby is a channel member. She's a basic channel member. The $2.99 level. She's got some, you can see she's got a star next to her. Yes, Alf. I read the answer to the question wrong. I'm sorry about that. Another viewer called me out on it. But yes, I am trying to give back to the ham community. See, this is not made for this. You can see that the wire itself is not good enough for this. I ran out of connectors, but I'm going to see if I can kludge this together. So I almost thought that I saw an Alf at the Goodwill today. And if you've seen that short that I posted of my wife ranting about my antics at the Goodwill, you know, she was calling me special needs. Some days I wonder. I have a friend with special needs children, and he and I both think that we may rank on that spectrum just a little bit. But it is good. We have fun. And let's see. Yes, Dan commented on it and laughed his head off. I'm different. I'll face it. I'm different. I can't finish sentences. I don't talk right sometimes. But you know what? We have a lot of doggone fun, don't we? So this is not going well. This project is not going well at all. I can't get this to go through. Yes, a 1/2 ounce fishing weight on the end of that slinky to kind of give it some stretchy stretch would definitely work outside of the window. Or if you just wanted to stretch it from wall to wall, from the window to the wall. I'm not going to finish that because that's inappropriate. I try to keep things family friendly here. Sometimes when I hang out with other people, I have to edit out what happens in the. It is a catchy tune for sure. It's amazing that I think that one came out maybe around the time that I went to the Army. Yeah, absolutely a flip phone era song. I didn't even have a flip phone when I was in the Army. I had a Nokia, I think it was a 4120. Okay, so y'all have watched me struggle with this now for the last 15 minutes, and I still cannot get this to go in there correctly. Son of a gun. Yes. Yes. Dan has mentioned we edit the heck out of our videos. There was one where I was testing an antenna that I built. It was a vertical, base-loaded vertical that I built that was sort of like the AX2 for Elecraft. And, of course, Eddie has no filter sometimes. I use the filter for the most part. And we're not talking about radio filters either. We're talking about the filter between our ears. And I try to watch what I say for the most part. Sometimes I'll get a little fired up, but Eddie had said something. It just comes off as a gunshot in the video. But it's obvious he said something. And so I try to keep it clean, family friendly as much as I can. That's why there's a couple videos that are just chilling right now. They're chilling on my GoPro camera. I have to be careful because that thing will shut off when I say its name. Dan just said that Eddie's current definitely leads his voltage. Yes, it does. And that's Eddie the Iceman. No, it doesn't work that way, does it? Eli the Iceman is what Dan is talking about. All right, so here's what I'm about to do. The first thing is I'm using ferrite beads on this project. I finally got it to where it'll kind of fit, and we're going to see if we can make this work. If not, I'm going to heat shrink it together and live with it until I can get the right connectors off of the Zon. Another order that Robbie needs to place. Okay, so we've got the 3/8 heat shrink. Then I'm putting on 6. Forgot. I had 25 of these. I've made 5 cables. And so these are the last of my ferrite beads. And I hate to use companies by name, but I'm going to say it on this stream, ABR Industries. If you go to hamradioadventureguide.com, if you want to buy yours and not make it, ABR Industries sells these in, I think, 25 and 15-foot sections. But I prefer to make my own stuff. David, that's an excellent question. Right offhand, I do not know what the mix is on these. That I just threw the paper away too. Give me just a minute and I will go look that up for you. I bought these from DigiKey, not a sponsor. And so if I go log into DigiKey and go look at my previous orders, I will tell you what they are. Okay, so we're account and list. I'm not going to show this on the web or on YouTube Live because it has my personal and wonderful information. When did I purchase these? Was it in April? It was not in April. And it was probably not in March 15th. Let's look at March 7th. Okay, these are ferrite cores. And it's not telling me the mix. Yes, it is mix 31. On DigiKey, these are the ferrite. Let's see. Can I show you all the web? Let's see. Let's go to the web. Transition. Okay, so these are the ferrite beads. It is cheaper if you buy them in the 25 pack, which is what I did, and they come out to really after that there's not much of a savings, 3 cents give or take. But I bought them, they were 46 cents, and when I bought them I bought other stuff to limit the shipping cost. See, that's what you're paying for. So this was the only thing that I did not Amazon. So these ferrite cores, they are wonderful. They have worked. This is exactly or very closely what ABR Industry uses. And then you get some of the Wirefly. This is what I use for the heat shrink. I bought this back on October 12th of 2022. I probably still have 30 feet left. It lasts a long time, and you can see that I have multiple choices. I do have the links to some of this stuff already in the description of this video. Let's see, this is the coax that I'm using right here, and $21 for 50 feet, pretty cheap. If you go for the 100-footer, it's only $36. So if you get 100 feet of it, cut it to the size that you want. Now, Dan swears up and down that for a random wire, 50 feet is the optimum length. That's why I'm making this one 50 feet. I have three 25-footers. One is an ABR Industries that the dog ate right as I was doing a test. And then later on, if we get there, I was looking at zip wire. I still have a bunch that I bought from Ham Radio Outlet. But there it is. And then shout out to Kilo Oscar 4 Fox Sierra Zulu antennas, because I am going to be doing a review soon of his antenna that somehow I wound up with one, and I'll share that story later. So that's his homepage right there. We may, if there's time, we'll go shopping. And so there's that. Holy cow, what has gone on? The chat just blew up, and now I just missed like 14 things. So we'll wet the whistle there. Let's see. He built Yagis for antennas to the tune of $7. Yep. Building Yagis using coat hangers. Been there, done that, and a piece of wood. Let's see. I think I missed that one earlier. David got them digging in the trash. I don't even know what you're talking about, Dan. Hey, John, K6RXD, good evening. Thanks for joining the chat, and cheers to you. Let's see. Somebody's got to do it. Yeah, so ferrets are like Frank's Red Hot. Yeah, if you run enough power through these, they will get hot. If you're running an antenna that is not quite tuned. Let's see, just made the tape measure and PVC. Oh yeah, and a tape measure works great too. I actually, Billy, Whiskey One, Wild Dr. Houston. Good evening, Billy. Billy and I met today at the Goodwill. That was, if y'all have not seen, if you have not seen the shore of my wife ranting about my freaking Goodwill antics, you're missing out. I don't know if she's ever going to let me go back. And Toby asked a question. If you say she's asking for a friend here, put a 20-foot and a 30-foot of coax together to equal 50 feet, will it work as well as a single 50-foot length? Now, this is hearsay, but I heard it from Eddie, KO4NLL, so it must be right. If you use one of the, okay, you know what I'm looking for right now is this. Make sure that when you put your coax together, that you put the pieces in order before you make the solder joint, at least on the first side. Eddie told me, he said that the connectors, so when you go from, let's say, since I have this in my hand, from a SO, no, this is a PL259 to PL259. You'll have a SO239 to SO239, not the scale, that goes in the middle. He swears that the loss between the two connections is negligible. So I think, Toby, that you could put two of them together. Now that's just for the random wires. Chris has joined us. Hello, Chris, AE4XO. Good evening. I can't believe, like, a ham that doesn't own a soldering iron. I have no thoughts. I'm not going to call you out. Dan says it'll do good, Toby. Toby has done some activations, and I think I've caught her on about half of them. Problem is, I'm a teacher, and so being a teacher, I don't have a lot of time to play radio, and when I get home, I'm like Garfield. I love naps. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do here is okay, if you guys don't know what Dan is talking about, and I assume that most of you already know Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zulu November, and I give him a lot of shout outs on my channel. He gives me a shout out every once in a while. I don't think they're proportional, but he's got a Discord. I do not, yes I do. I do not have my own Discord. I don't need my own Discord, probably never will, because I hang out in Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zulu November's Discord, and that's where I can be found. If you want to chat with me, that's a good place to find me. Okay, so here's what we're about to do. While I'm yapping, you can join his channel too, and he also has a Patreon that, of course, this is my channel, dadgummit, but I can do whatever I want. I do not have a Patreon yet, because, I mean, shoot, man, this has been fun enough right here already. All right, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and solder the tip of this coax, the center conductor, to the center pin of the connector. And we don't want to hold that on there too long, because that would be completely horrific. And I just realized that, all right, so David's about to go chase him A satellite, AO-27, must be coming around the bend. I don't know why the video is so far behind. It should be me at the soldering table. So it could be that the video's behind. I don't know. Dan, I have no idea. I do show them project videos because I teach engineering, and I let them know beforehand that, you know, teachers have to be real careful. That falls under some of the ethics, you know, because I make like $1 or $2 off of YouTube. Because the problem is I have a hard time selling myself. So, you know, Dan, if you guys want to send me a super chat, I don't even know how that works on my channel. If you want to send a super chat and support what I do, or if you want to join the channel as a member, that helps me out with these projects. But to get back to your question, Dan, I don't know the answer to that. I know over on TikTok and on Instagram, I can see more of the interaction, so I kind of know who they are. It's a slippery slope when you interact with your students outside of school email and stuff like that. And so I don't subscribe to them, but they do subscribe and watch what I do because I don't hide anything that happens. Okay, so here's the deal. This cable that I'm using does not match the specs for this coax. Did I say that right? The coax does not match the specs of the connector. See, that's when I'm able to catch myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into the crimpers, and we are going to watch this shrink down. Now, really, the only thing that matters isn't so much this. That's the strain relief. The ground of the shield is what really matters. So I'm going to smushy smush. Yeah, this was definitely made for RG58. I'm sure that there are some of the students who have subbed to the channel, and I don't have a problem with that at all. It just, you know, it's out in the open, so there's that. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, before I put the heat shrink up here, because you can see this is not made for that. Now, I made a good connection, but what I'm going to do is put this in another sized crimp in a little while when I get done, and we'll see if it works. All right, so I think I'm caught up with all of the chat so far. It's a pleasure to hang out with y'all on this Saturday night, and I appreciate everybody that's here so far, just watching me. I mean, this is what happens at the house a lot. If I'm not napping, I'm working on some kind of project. But what I'm doing is pushing these ferrite beads into this Wirefly 3-to-1 dual wall coax, not coax. See, that's where my words get ahead of myself. Heat shrink is I'm going to try to push those ferrite beads and put them about in the center. Then we're going to push them together. And this is just like how ABR Industries makes it. And so I'm going to go over here, and you're going to lose me for just a minute because I am pulling out the heat shrinker, the heat shrink gun. So in the process of doing this, I'm going to let this heat up to about 700 bazillion degrees. If you haven't hit that like button on the video yet, go ahead and smash that like. And we'll go to a commercial. If you want to become a member of the channel, you go to youtube.com/@W1RCP/join, and there are 3 levels. If you get the last level, that's going to keep me from putting ads on my channel. if I can just get one, I promise I'm only 70 hours away, 70 watch hours away from actually being able to monetize that way. But I want to be like K4SWL. I want to be like K4SWL, Tom. I do not want to monetize my channel. I just like to be supported by those people who really like what I do. Okay. Parks and propagation. You have to get to a certain point to get memberships. 500 subscribers, and I think it's 2,000 watch hours. Then you can have a membership. I think that's it. It might be the other one. I don't know. I'd show you, but this thing is heated. So here's what we're going to do. On the table, we are going to move. We all need to watch a few videos. Listen, it's going to get there. It's going to get there. I do appreciate you guys watching the videos, but watch what's interesting. See, I'm not forcing, that's the great thing about my channel. I can't force you to watch anything. I try not to do clickbait. I've already made that mistake once. All right, so here we go. We're gonna melt some, there is glue on the inside of this heat shrink. And so it definitely, Dan, I support you like a stiff underwire. Dadgum, I'm dead. I am dead. You know, the sad thing is the video that I'm seeing here in front of me on my channel page is like 4 minutes behind for some reason. And so I don't know exactly what y'all are seeing. Are you guys seeing me heat shrink stuff? There are videos that date back about a year now. I think I'm at about a year. Okay, excellent. I'm glad that y'all are caught up on the video. I am not. Shoot, have I been yapping for 40 minutes already? Sweet. I hope it's entertaining, because I'm a dork. This what I'm doing right now is putting ferrite beads, which should be able to eliminate that common mode current on the outside of your coax. And what this is really helpful for is if you have, okay, I'm gonna set this to cool under the table, but if you have a key that is solid metal and you have RF coming back into it, you're gonna get zapped if you have common mode current. Now, what am I doing right now? I'm gonna use this. I am trying to put just a slight crimp on this heat shrink just to keep it sealed from moisture. So what these are your run-of-the-mill Klein tools. Not a sponsor. You might be able to find these on Amazon. I want to say I bought these from Eddie. Dan! Thank you so much, Dan, for the super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm going to see if I can put hard on that bad boy. Boom! You got the W1RCP heart, Dan. I appreciate that. Oh, I can hit the like button, too. No, I can't. It won't let me hit the like button. I'm sorry about that. I can hit reply and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. TU, woof. Now, working Dan on CW is a freaking blast. You know, I don't even think, rarely do we send signal. I don't think I've ever sent you a signal report since you started the whole wolf thing and poor cat. Okay, so we need that thing to get quiet. I'll come back to this later. We're going to go to the other side of the coax now. We're going to do the same thing. Before I do that, Wolf is a signal report. If you can hear Wolf, you're good. Now, one of the issues I have is that Eduardo, KO4, November Lava Lava, the issue that I have with him is he hasn't been practicing his CW lately. And I try to send him things spaced out, and the next thing you know, while I'm sending things spaced out, he comes back at me. If you didn't know, oh, I accidentally showed Eddie's address on there. I'm going to move the metal key and stick it back to the table that I'm supposed to be cleaning, but this is what do they call it? Help me out here. Help me out with the word. I have something I'm supposed to do, but task avoidance. This is task avoidance. So I am going to transition back to Kilo Oscar 4 Fox Sierra Zulu for just a minute. I am giving our buddy a shout out right as the heat gun turns off. So Eddie, KO4NLL, won a hiker. And since he already had one, what Eddie did is he gifted it to me. And I don't know if you can read this, but the title on this says W1 Robbie Can POTA. So he definitely went against the grain because it's Robbie can't POTA. But man, I tell you what, but let's go shop real quick. If you go to Kilo Oscar 4 Fart Sniffing Zebra's page, we can find I'm pretty sure this is called the hiker. Can we search? Because I really don't. Let's look up the word hike. That reminds me of a Dave Matthews song. Uh-oh. I know it's under the 100 watt. There's the... Okay, we might have to talk about his website for just a minute. Let's look at... All right, Dan, I know you know this more than me. I have shopped on here and I have seen it. And I know it's called the hiker. He may not even have it listed yet. Because I do not see a picture of the hiker. Huh. So let me go back and figure out what's going on here. All right. Apparently I do not have the mouse tool ability for this. Chris says it's on there. Yes, he will send a park number. Last full row of pics. Let me go back and look. Last full row of pics is the hiker. I mean, that's got to be it. Okay, so let me pull this out of the box. Sorry, you guys have been sitting here watching me. The soldering iron hasn't burnt the kitchen table yet, but this is very well-made stuff, and I'm impressed with his ability to constantly do this. I don't know if he's doing this out of hobby or if he is legit gonna make a living off of these, but honestly, I think that he could. So the wire that he is using is this wonderful... I've heard gripes of this, but I've heard less gripes and more praise. This is that silicone wire. You treat this stuff right. And now, when I undo this, yes, it's going to be a mess. I think if I cut this and pull this off, I should be able to neatly wrap it around the wire wrap. Yeah, the picture that I'm looking at, Chris, doesn't exactly match what I'm looking at here. The ballon that he has for this one looks a little bigger. But I'm going to tell you right now, these things, from what I've heard from other users, these things are the bomb.com. This has a PL259. Nope. I get those mixed up every time. This is a SO239. One of the reasons why I'm making this coax is so that I don't have to use adapters to connect to the actual Eddie, I've just used your name in vain. Greetings, fellow human being. I've run 100 watts through this 26 gauge wire with no problem. I don't think it'll hurt it. But Eddie is the one who donated this antenna to me, and he's got a nice holder right here, and you just hang that, and then once you put your coax, it'll tilt itself back up. And here's what's great: it's end-fed, so you do not have to worry about a elevated vertical or any kind of vertical. So I'm going to put that down now, and I'm going to leave that on the video here so you can stare at it. I'm just saying, I've heard great reviews of Kilo Oscar 4 Fart Symph Zebra stuff, and so I can already emphatically say, if you need an antenna and you don't want to build it yourself, that's the place to go. ko4fsz.com. Before I do something on my channel, I like to take it out and use it before I give final thoughts on it. And if I continue to use it, it probably means that I like it and it works. That MFJ 1898 antenna, you know, I use the heck out of that thing when I can. Does the hiker come tuned? As far as I know, Toby, his antennas are tuned and ready to go. And that's the beauty of an end-fed, is that for the most part, you only need light use of a tuner. I think that you could plug this straight up to an FT891 and just roll with it. So Eddie says he hasn't used his hiker yet, but his tactical is awesome. And Chris said it was flat. We had no tuner. See, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. So I need to at least finish one project on this channel, this video tonight. So using my fantastic knife here, I am going to do another stripping of the outer jacket of this. Ooh, AE4XO has an 857. You have an 857? Well, I'll tell you, Toby, whose 857 did you use, bud? Who's got the 857? Kilo Quebec 4, Georgia Electric Company. Yes, that is true. I forgot about that. This thing right here looks like you could run a heck of amount of power. Oh, throw it around the table, Robbie. Why don't you? This can run 100 watts easy. I'd venture to say he's probably got this listed well under the power rating of what this thing is. Yeah, everybody's jealous now of Ken, because I don't need another radio. But if I had the money and the opportunity to purchase an 857, I would. Dan said he better go put one of those anti-theft lock cables on that thing. Now, there is another way that you can kind of get some of this display out. If you have a multimeter, which I ran this one over with a rocking chair the other day, so I'm probably going to have to invest in yet another set of tips for my Fluke multimeter. You can kind of pick out some of the braids on this and cut it. Yeah, everybody, you know, being able to have access to VHF and UHF in the same rig But I'm going to tell you right now, I got enough Bay Fangs hanging around that. The only thing I don't think that the 857 does 1.25 meters. So if you're gonna get all the bands in the park, that's one I don't think that it does. I think it's only 70 centimeters and 2 meters, and 6 meters and down, which 6 meters is also VHF. We can't forget that. Okay. Now, I got a few strays here that I'm trimming off of this particular cable. If you want the short version of me building these cables, I have a video. Now, I was saying earlier, to finish a thought, you know, YouTube's algorithm, they do not, this is going to Toby. We need to watch some more videos. There's a video of me and Eddie, or Eddie and myself. We activated at Providence Canyon State Park in Georgia. Okay. There's a problem. Here we go. And there was one moment, and may Jerry rest in peace. But Jerry, oh shoot, I can't even start a story without mentioning his call sign. Alpha Bravo 0 Bravo Charlie. Alpha Bravo 0 Bravo Charlie. He called in. Eddie and I had asked for QRP stations only, and here comes Alpha Bravo 0 Bravo Charlie. Loud and proud. And we both looked at each other, and he goes, we said, he ain't QRP. And he wasn't. But you have to go watch the video for the rest of that. That was, I believe, December of 2022 was when that video was posted. Yes, and Dan has pointed out that if you could get anything better than about a 4.4 out of him, it was a great day on HF, because I think that either he had a high noise level at his house, but it was always 3-3 Missouri. Man, he was a fun hunter. He was always there, always available, and just an all-around nice guy. Definitely appreciated having Jerry hunt us on Parks on the Air. Eddie. Let me move some stuff out of the way. I appreciate y'all sticking around and hanging out with me. Look what I'm using, Eddie. I'm using your new antenna that you... see, I'm an idiot. I'm using your microphone you let me borrow already. How are y'all doing? But check this out, guys. This is Bunny Trail. This is what happens when you... Let me kick that back over. Okay, that's the beauty of things that aren't round. Is they just, pardon me, I'm gonna have to go under the kitchen table to go get that. .33 Missouri. Eddie, you will. You will. You don't even have to buy it, Eddie. Thank you so much for the super chat tonight, buddy. I'm going to put a heart on that. And why won't it? Oh, I can't comment on it if it's just a $2 one. Dagnabbit. Well, you know, Dan, there's always an Easter egg. And I guess that one particular just under the table. That's another Dave Matthews song, if I'm not mistaken. Dave Matthews was Under the Table and Dreaming, I think, were the lyrics. I used to listen to Dave Matthews a lot back in the day. All right, so, dadgummit. ADHD. Are you serious, Eddie? I can keep it? Okay, so Eddie, I'll make you a trade if you want to. I'm talking to my buddy Eddie. He lives about 25 miles northwest of me. But look what I found. Look what I found at the Goodwill today. Now, help me out, Dan, Eddie, Chris, you guys, Toby. You guys, I don't know if David is still here. I haven't seen him chat in just a minute. But is this the alien life form that... Wait, you can't see me. Hold on. Is this the alien life form microphone that James uses on his stream? This is called the Snowball... I just had a flashback. Inside joke, and I'm not even going to share it on the stream because we're kid friendly. The Snowball Ice Black. I found this for $20, brand new. The box is just a little funky, but this whoa, this looks like a Jedi training ball. Again, I was at the Goodwill today. And I've said this twice now, and I'm going to say it one more time. If you haven't seen my wife's rant on my antics at the Goodwill, this is what it looks like. It looks like a Jedi So yes, this looks just like a training ball. So I think this is the one that he uses on his stream, and you can get these off of Amazon for $35, I think. But I got 36, 38, somewhere in that range. I don't have a link to it. I'm not using it. I haven't reviewed it yet. But Eddie, thank you so much for the super chat and letting me have the AOKEO AK-60 because it works. I just recorded a whole nother video with it. I just hope that my mouth matches the words that are coming out. Okay, let's finish something here. Now remember, when you're making coax, make sure that whatever you want on it before you make that last solder joint, that it's on there, because there's no going back. I believe that is the Jedi training ball, though, Dan. And Eddie is definitely ready. That rhymed. Eddie is definitely ready for Huntsville. And that was another reason why I really wanted to get on the stream tonight, is because the flop camper is ready. I know that Billy, Wild Dr. Houston, if he's still in here, and our mutual friend. Now, I don't know if I can call Austin a friend yet because I haven't really hung out with him much, but he's going. They're hanging out. And then our joint friend between almost everybody that is here, and yeah. Dan said, if you want to know about the snowball, wait till tomorrow. And come on, Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November shenanigans. I think that's at, what, 5 p.m. Eastern time? Dan, is it 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube? Just go follow Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November, and follow W1RCP's Amateur Radio, Parks on the Air, and Projects channel. And you'll be in the loop for 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay. 6 p.m. Eastern. The funniest thing happened the other night. I think it was Wednesday towards the end of the stream. They were calling for him to take his hat off. Just go watch the video. It's absolutely epic. He became the butt of the joke there for just a little bit, and he went right along with it. It was great. So what I did just now is I soldered the center connector into the tip of the PL259. I said it right this time. And now we are going to find the sleeve that goes over the ground, or the shield, that is. Son of a gun, that's still hot. It's getting hot in here. I will keep on all my clothes. Okay, here's one thing I like to do that I do not show on the normal videos of me doing projects, is I put the ohmmeter with the continuity tester, and I check from outside to outside and make sure that there's continuity, but then I check to make sure that there is not continuity to the center conductor to the outside, and then I go center conductor to center conductor. If that test works out, I know that I'm golden, golden, golden. But see, I was supposed to have 2 more of the solder type connectors for this particular cable. And again, that's where I said I'm kind of just rigging it as best I can. We're about to find out, because the failure point is about to happen. All this talking makes me thirsty. Okay, going back at this point, we're almost done. Eddie and I have a stream planned. It did not happen last night. I've already apologized to Toby for it, and Chris. Chris said he couldn't wait that long, and now he's got to wait another 2 daggone weeks. We were hoping that I could save on shipping by doing the giveaway before the live stream. Before Huntsville. So I guess I'll just have to go. The overhead camera froze. Dadgummit. Okay, we're just gonna live with it, okay? Because it's a GoPro. Don't stop capture. I'll just tap it and see if it works. I'm crimping this so that the jacket is what matters the most. So now what I'm going to do, now that I have this together and it works, what I was going to tell Eddie is Eddie and I have that stream, and then the next stream that we're going to do is a TEMU haul. And I'm not sure if it's going to be a live stream. We might do a live stream if we can find the time and the place, but we will definitely have a video of a ham TEMU haul. And so here's what we're about to do. On my wonderful DX Engineering crimpers, what I'm going to do with these is switch back to the smaller crimp Hawk TEMU. Yeah, definitely. I had somebody else tell me that I had a TEMU fever, and it's true. TEMU is freaking Fortnite for adults. They will suck you in to make you think that you need something, and in the process get you to get like 5 other things. Do it, Chris. Do it. Don't let another channel. They've been done. I did a search the other day for the competition, and okay, Eddie, I'll give a sneak peek into the second one in just a minute. Chris, do not let what one channel does stop you from doing it yourself. We all lend our own personalities, and who knows, what I got may not be what you got, and you may find something that has a different use. So, dude, do it. I say do it. I'm not sponsored by TEMU, and I'm not getting any money from it. So, do it. It'll be fun. We can all link each other in those videos. Now, here's where disaster strikes. My goal is I have about a 1.20. That's the aperture here on since this camera is probably frozen. I'm just now seeing myself going under the table. But what I'm going to try to do is crimp this, and then I'll do what Eddie just said, is I'm going to put this into the crimpers backwards so that I can see what I'm smushing. And I'm only going to crimp. This is not going to work. This is going to be ugly as crap. But here we go. I'm smiling because it does not fit in this aperture. But what I want it to be, now that I've done that, I am going to use the emergency release on these and let go so I don't tear up the coax. Now it looks like a jet fighter. The only reason that I did this is because, one, this is for RG58. But we're about to heat shrink this. So that semi worked. I told you it was going to be stupid looking. Okay, so for Huntsville, Eddie has decided for those of us that support Eddie emotionally and financially, is I think he said he's going to do some Boston butt, maybe a pork loin, and some brisket. And that's where Eddie gets the smoking POTA from. All right, so I don't know if this camera's working or this one's working, but here we go. I'm smiling at it because I know this is wrong. And then I'm crimping it, and now there is a release here on your ratcheting crimpers so that you can back things off before disaster strikes. So what I'm going to do one last time before we put the heat shrink on that dangerous sharp tip there is I'm going to check for continuity, because what I did was I could have possibly crushed the coax, the outer connector, the outer shield, kill the overhead cam and make front cam big so we can see. Okay, that's a fantastic idea. Thank you, Dan, for that. And see, if you give me just a minute, I will go over here to where that camera is located. And I will go yoink, yoink, yoink. And that was the wrong camera. What an idiot. GoPro. Turn off. Camera. All right. So here we go. The computer camera is... Oh my God. Oh no. Okay, I think I have it centered on here as best I can. Task avoidance right there. This is 100% task avoidance. There's 10 projects over there. Oscilloscope, I'm trying to fix something that I'm too stupid to fix because I don't have a schematic of it. How's that work for you there, Dan? Is that much better? That's probably why viewers are like, I don't know what's going on. Listen, I don't know what Not a Rubicon's all about sometimes, but that dude is a master troll. Okay. We did not smash the inside of the coax, so we're good. This is my workshop, dadgummit. Okay, here we go. Turn off the soldering iron. We're done with that. I think we've been on here a pretty good minute. So I don't want to be the one responsible for you guys staying up too late, but it is not a school night. Like I said earlier, make sure you smash that like button. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, remember, it only takes one person at the $6.99 to keep me from monetizing the channel. And you get special perks, like you can see everything that is preloaded all the way up to, at this point, September. And you get to see when I upload videos immediately. Even Joseph, good evening. It's Victor Echo 3 Golf Kilo Tango. Good evening and glad you could join us tonight. I've been making coax on this video and with PL259s instead of BNCs this time. Woo. That's where I need to go take that $10 and buy some burn cream. All right, now, here we go. Now, what I'm doing is applying a little bit of pressure from the, man, we're all children in the mind. So I'm really, really scared of some of the things that I say because I'm also very, very childish. But I apply some pressure from the back side of the coax to God help us all. And then what I usually do is put a little crimp because the heat shrink doesn't quite get small enough for, I can do that. Does that just mean I need to be quiet? ASMR. I still haven't figured out what that stands for. I do not like whispering. Constant whispering drives me nuts. I think it's like, yeah, Dan, that's exactly why I started giggling. Like I said, I am a child, a very immature human being. I'm 41, about to be 42 in October. That is the question of the ultimate answer of life, the universe, and everything. Autonomous sensory meridian response. Y'all want to hear some dark humor? I inherited this from my mother when she died. That's just one of my inheritance items. I have no shame. I have no shame whatsoever. Oh, so there is a cure for ED. Dan said that if you heat shrink a popsicle stick in there, it'll stay rigid. Wonderful. See? So much cheaper than that stuff that they advertise on TV. Okay. We're nearing the end of the stream. I think I've kept y'all entertained long enough. But the next thing is this possible to yank the coax all 50 feet, all 50 feet without it getting tangled? Oh Lord, no, there's a freaking rat's nest on the floor. Or a bird's nest. There's either a rat's nest or a bird's nest on the floor. But at Huntsville, I'm going to bring the bigger of these and the better. This is V1, where it was 3D printed, and I just glued it in there. There's no screws involved. On version 2, there is a nut that goes through the top, and then the back side has a washer and a screw, and it is so much more robust. These will break. But what we're going to see, can Whiskey 1, Robbie Camp POTA, actually get all 50 feet of this RG3? Okay, there's already an epic fail. I did not take that into account. Can I fit all 50 feet of the RG316 onto the 200 kilogram PLA roll? Place your bets now. Okay. I am going to do a giveaway. For those of you that are still here, this is a two-part giveaway. There will be a tiebreaker. Be right back. Two things, actually. I'm sitting in a rocking chair, and so we're doing a giveaway. For those of you that have stuck around, now, I haven't gotten any new members tonight. Don't make me cry. Now, Toby's a member. Would be nice if I could get some more members. I'm not begging you. I'm not begging you. I'm just saying. But this is part of the TEMU haul. No, the heat is off now. It was on the cool down mode. But I'm going to cut y'all a dadgum deal. First thing, I'm giving away a cheap tactical flashlight. I do not believe there is a battery in this yet. But I will take this to a laser to whoever wins it, and I will put any 10-letter phrase on this flashlight for you. And if you're going to Huntsville, that would be even better. But I will even be so kind as to put an Amazon Basics battery in this flashlight for this drawing. So here is how this is going to work. We are going to start with a yes or no question first. And I'm trying to figure this out because I don't have the wheel of randomness available. But the winner is going to get this flashlight tonight. Make sure that you have hit that like. There have been 26 views, but there are 7 concurrent viewers. Make sure you smash that like button. Okay, so here we go. Here's the contest, part 1. There's two parts to it because most of you may get this right, but we're gonna see now. Pick a number. I got one in my head. It is going to be a number for part 2. And let me go ahead and pull that number up. Oh, I can't pull that number up. Okay. Hold on just a minute. On this piece of paper, I'm going to write a rough estimate of something, and I will tell you it in a minute. Okay, I'm not talking while I write. Dude, Eddie, if you win, I know how to give it to you. You already have one with your name on it, and I melted it. Because I had the power set for those instead of for a plastic one. I have written the answer to this question down on my note sheet right here. I'm going to put the TEMU POTA box. I have no idea what to store in this. Okay. The first question in the chat. Can I fit all 50 feet of coax on this 200-gram roll of filament? Now, when I say fit, okay, Dan's already said yes. If I say fit, maybe we won't need a tiebreak. Oh, no, Eddie said yes, too. So now there's going to have to be some kind of tiebreaker. Fit means that not the piece hanging off, because I'm probably going to have to find a rubber band to rubber band it. But, all right, Toby says yes. We're about to find out. So, which way does Robbie roll when he rolls coax? He rolls away from him. Now, the next thing I like to do when I roll coax is I like to get a little pressure between my feet so that it rolls up neatly. So we only have 3 people participating because I can't start this until all answers are in. So, anybody else that's watching, the question is, for a flashlight. Oh, well, Kerwin Bornell, where'd you come from? And welcome to the live stream. Appreciate you dropping by. Now, Toby said I can go halfway, and I don't know if you're talking about giving it to Eddie and meeting him in the middle. Yeah, thank you for joining us tonight. One extra person did like the video, so that's good. If you have a call sign, Kerwin, for amateur radio, drop that in the chat as well. I noticed that you have dropped a yes. Everybody is with a yes, so there will be a tiebreaker question. Oh, Toby thinks I'm only going to make it halfway. So that's a no. Toby just said no. No. Oh, I know what you're saying, Toby. You're saying that I'll still have a lot more room left over. Okay, so far, has Chris, have you answered? A4XO Chris. Yes or no? Am I going to be able to fit this 50 feet of RG316 on this 200-gram spool? Because you guessed a number. Chris, A4X. Okay, he's got yes. All right, last call. We've got... Oh, you don't have a call sign. Hey, there's no judgment here. Are you into GMRS or do you do CB radio? What brings you here tonight is my main question. What brings you here tonight? I'd just like to know who my viewers are. Appreciate you coming. All new to me. Well, sweet. Yes, Toby says welcome as well. Now, I have to deal with the rat's nest that's on the floor too. And what happens when I roll is I try to keep these points right here from bending the coax. Now, once you get it wound and you get it up in a tree, it winds up a whole lot better. CB radio is still around. CB radio is still around. The only time that I've used it in the last 10 years, I used to go hang out with a bunch of Jeepers because I have a Jeep Wrangler, and Eddie used to have one till he upgraded to the Subaru. And okay, so this is, I'm so sorry guys, this is gonna take a minute because this was coiled up and I did not straighten it out. Well, Kerwin, you got CB radio, you've got GMRS, which, I mean, now GMRS, I think it's a $35 license for GMRS, no test. CB radio is a free-for-all, and in terms of what I tell my kids, you get what you get, don't pitch a fit. CB radio can be kind of raunchy sometimes. Oh, David has said yes. Okay. And Kerwin, if you want to go ahead, yep, okay, you said yes already too. I got you, bro. Yeah, it's $35 for 10 years, just like an amateur radio license. Is also When we renew now for our amateur radio license or ham radio license, it definitely... Oh, David, I'm so sorry that you have Eddie's internet tonight. The question is, David, yes or no, am I going to fit all 50 feet of this coax? And then we'll have a tiebreaker. Because I can already tell. I'm sorry, Dan. It is all tangled up underneath the table. Can I fit all 50 feet of this coax onto this winder? It's a 200-gram spool of PLA. And I'm really trying to be faster than this. Yes, it does tangle if you look at it funny. And look at this face. It already looks funny. So the thumbnail for the video was taken at Goodwill last week when I found this cool, I think it was a funnel. Dear God Almighty. Okay, so we've got her, see what I mean? It tangles something awful. I'm going to see if I can work some of this out. I'm going to see if I can work. Yes, it's going to be the stream tomorrow before I actually finish with this winding situation. Once you get it wound, it's not so bad. Okay? Once RG316, and if it sits out in the sun for a little bit, it definitely gets a little more loose, so to speak. But I do not want to kink it too bad, because then when you get kinks, it can mess with your dear Lord. Y'all, I'm just gonna have to stand up. I'm ready to have this on this roll. In the meantime, you can look for Easter eggs on my junk pile over there that my wife swears that I'm gonna clean up before the weekend's over. Okay, so back to winding. I got one more foot on there. And that right there is why my wife doesn't like to take me to Goodwill, because I have no fear. Dude, it wouldn't hold freaking a foot of LMR 400. That stuff is thick. That's what I have in the attic. I have DX Engineering's special LMR 400, and it is absolutely, positively the most robust. Listen, if you said yes, you are correct. There is 10 feet left. 10 feet. John, there are 10 feet left. I think everybody said yes, I can fit it. So let's go ahead and get started on the next question. The next question is, if you know me, you have probably, if you followed me on Twitter, I have made mention to how many QSOs I have in my regular home log. I'm not talking about parks on the air contacts. Those go in a separate log. My home log. It's okay, Toby. It's okay. I've said it one time, maybe in, I think I said it in the Ham Radio Adventure Guys Discord. Here we go. Here's the toughest part, is where the ferrite beads are. They don't want to wind around this very well. So I'm going to push this coax end through. because I don't have a rubber band to act. I would rubber band it around this part right here. That's 50 feet of RG316 fits perfectly on that roll. Now, RG58, if you have, again, this is something that I need to put away. If you go to printables, yes, I do log my hunts. That's a great question, Dan. I do log my hunts. I know what you're doing, Dan. Freaking genius. I do have this on printables. I have it for both the kilogram rolls and for the 200 gram rolls. I have the plans for this knob and the center insert so that you can wind this up. But this is 100 feet. This is 100 feet of, I believe, RG58 or RG8. I'm not sure which one this is. So they will fit on there. And at Huntsville, I'm bringing my entire collection of these that I've made, and I'm going to sell them for $5 each just to recoup some costs of being a very low-paid YouTuber. Okay, so I'm sliding this to the edge. All right, so I believe everybody answered yes. So, here's the question. In my home log, from the time that I became W1 RCP, which wasn't much longer after I got licensed. So, W1 RCP, in my home log and AC log, which has every contact I've ever made using my radio, how many contacts are in that log? Now, I'm going to go fire up the computer in the other room, and I'm going to share my desktop so you know that I'm not cheating. Forget about the number that I wrote on this piece of paper. I'm going to go turn on the computer in the other room in my shack and let you see it. Okay, so Toby's got an answer. I'll write them down in just a minute. Y'all put your answer down in there. Okay, be right back. Good God, 84XO. Are you serious with that? I hope you're kidding. All right, so I'm going to write these numbers down. Oh, you were saying 7%, were you? We're talking about, you were close. It's 8675309. You know, Stephen King is a music fan, and in a lot of his books, he mentions a lot of lyrics to songs, and we have mentioned quite a few of them tonight. So Toby has guessed 39,999. Eddie has guessed 50,000. Dan says 22.5K. Thank you for the scientific notation. And 22.5K is also scientific notation for 22.5 times 10 to the third power. Now, if you will give me just a moment, I'm going to go to my remote desktop, and we're going to go to my tiny PC in the ham shack. And I'm going to click here and type in my super secret PIN, and then I'm going to share the web. So the GoPro didn't work here. Give me just a minute. I'm going to set this up with a video capture device, and we're going to add existing comp cam. For those that are wondering, I use a program called OBS Studio to do my live streams. So this is the Ham Shack computer. Remember, we're not talking about what's the word I'm looking for? We're not talking about Parks on the Air activations. Those are held in a different log, and I haven't updated it in a year. We're talking about contacts that I make from home, and yes, I log every single contact. If I'm at the house, if I'm sitting here playing with my X6100, and I make an FT8 contact, doing a test in a video, I log it in the other room. If I'm outside and I'm playing with the Elecraft KX2, they go in the log. Now, if I'm away from home, they don't go in the log. Okay, so I log to AC log. Okay, so we got some more answers. Eddie is still at 50,000. He put it in scientific notation too, 50K. This is Dan. I'm writing these down because the chat tends to run by pretty quick. A4XO says 867. I don't know if I'm allowed to sing that song. That is 8 million contacts. Holy crap, A4XO. You must not want the flashlight. Yes, OBS is great. I love... is Gar here? Where? Oh, there it is. 37,841. Gar says 37,841. Okay, so I have 5 answers so far. I have one from Toby, one from Eddie. I think that's Eddie. I wrote that E really stupid. One from Dan, one from A4XO, and one from Gar, David. Anybody else want to guess before I show you my home log, which is up to date as of just before Hurricane Debbie? I have not played any radio since then. You know what? Give me just a minute. Kerwin, you could play along too if you want to. You can guess a number. Kerwin, if you're still here, you can play along too. The number is between 1... Well, actually, we'll go with 7 since Chris said 7. The number is between 7 and 8.76 million. I'm going to give y'all till it is 11:12 and 44 seconds by the satellite's time, which is based on the cesium atom in Denver, Colorado, Boulder, Colorado, I think. That's where the NIST is located, one of them. Okay. I'm going to give y'all till 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is 11:13 and 14 seconds. How many contacts are in Robbie's home log? There's a reason I have to end the stream after this. I've had 2 Mountain Dews in this amount of time. Yes. And what a great way to spend it. Hanging out with friends and new friends. I don't know where... See, I have a bad memory. I don't know where Kerwin went, but we didn't get much more out of him. I was looking forward to seeing what he was up to. See, I'm seeing this dang video that is way behind over here, and I'm still fighting coax over here. All right, we got 38 seconds left. Are your answers locked in? I got Toby, Eddie, Dan, Chris, and Gar, also known as David. Anybody else? All right, John, K6RXD, have you made a guess yet? You want to play along? You may not be going to Huntsville, but I'll send it in the mail. I got no problem putting this thing in an envelope. This is a giveaway for a TEMU flashlight. I keep one in one of my go bags, and I gave probably. Oh, okay, all right. You don't have to. All right, so I think I've given like 7 of these away. I gave a bunch to the Pearsons. Okay, it's time. Here we go. Let us. You have too many flashlights. Okay, yeah. It is a problem. And that's why I'm letting. Can you hear me now? Good. Okay, so that's one of the bad things about USB is they can come unplugged. So, Eddie, Eddie, knowing my phone number, Eddie called me. I couldn't see the chat. I still can't see the chat. But you guys are looking at my dang chat right now. And I'm so sorry. You can see what I'm looking at right now. I'm going to go back and show you. It was 19,517. I was saying before I killed the audio, Claude, AC4SH, he and I and a whole bunch of other folks are working on the Georgia State Parks on the Air contest that's coming up in April. And WD4DAN, he is the whiz at everything. And he was the next to the last contact that I made there. And there is a 4XO who just happens to be in the stream. And if you have not checked out Alpha Echo 4 X-Ray Oscar, who is Parks and propagation. I have to say that very slowly. So we're going to go back to the camera now. Notice I'm holding the pencil up like a microphone to really help this send this home. So now let's find out who the winner is. He is still winding. Y'all are great. I freaking love everybody that is here tonight. Little Okmulgee, September 21st is a meetup. Okay. Little Okmulgee, I think it's not that far from me. Okay, here's the winner. Drum roll. So, honestly, freaking Dan. Dan won. Fair and square. 22,500 was Dan's guess. 19,517 is what is in my home log, and I log everything. So, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. This sure made. I wondered why my phone was ringing, Eddie. That's just freaking hilarious. Dan, you will see the light. So, Dan, the question is, are you going to Huntsville? Second question, Dan, do you want your call sign on it? I'm going to take it to the laser at school on Monday. Okay, so that, of course, is the answer to the Huntsville question. Call sign. Done. I'm also going to put woof on the other side. So I have access to lasers at school. That is the beauty of being a teacher, is I have a workspace. I get to play as much as I get to teach, because I have to learn some of the stuff. I've been doing some stuff on a CNC lathe here lately. It has been more of a disaster than a success, but I use Fusion, and I'm learning how to do cam on Fusion. So, guys, I'm going to end this stream. It is 11:21. I appreciate those of you that have watched the majority of this. Freaking thank you so much. I appreciate it. John, K6RXD, I appreciate you coming in tonight as well. David, Chris, Dan. Have a good one, David. Good luck on that SO-121. Dude, they will keep you up all night. Toby, appreciate you being here. And I'm going to give one more shout out to I can't even find his name anymore. Y'all chatted the heck out of this thing tonight. Kerwin? Was it Kerwin? Was that his name? I can't find it anymore. But hey, Kerwin, thanks so much. Eddie, KO4NLL, thank you so much for coming tonight. Who else? David, I appreciate you coming tonight. And there was somebody else. VE3, come on now, help me out here, guys. I'm having a brain fart. I want to give everybody their time. Toby, thank you for your membership. I appreciate your membership. And for the other memberships that you have also sent me through the mail, I absolutely appreciate that as well. I can't find him. I know that you said something, and my memory sucks so bad that VE3GKT, where are you? Just tell us good night, buddy. I can't find you. Alrighty. And oh, look, yeah, Toby even put his call sign. I just scrolled back down to the bottom. So VE3, yeah, Joseph. Hey, thank you so much, Joseph, for tuning in tonight. Hey, y'all have a great evening. I appreciate everybody. We will catch you tomorrow night. What am I doing tomorrow? I'm going to tune in at 6 p.m. on YouTube to Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zulu November. He is the Ham Radio Adventure Guy with co-host WD4DAN. They will host the Sunday night shenanigans where anything and everything is possible. So, again, have a great night, everybody. 73, and we'll do another live stream. This was fun. I'll find some other mess to make on the kitchen table. Good night, everybody. I hope you have good rest. Stay safe, stay warm, Sorry, stay cool because it's summer. I forgot, I'm freezing in here. The air's blowing right on me. Y'all have a great night. 73. Boop, ending the stream. GoPro, stop capture. It says, GoPro, stop capture.